What is up, you guys? It is your boy John here from Puma Plow. Welcome back to another Farming Simulator 19. This time, guys, we're here, of course, on Fenton Forest 4X. How y'all doing? I know I've been doing a lot of harvesting lately, but hey, we're almost done with this round. We're almost done. We're almost done. This is actually our last field. Yeah, we're not worried about those other fields that we don't mess with. Oh, excuse me, mass with. I don't know why I said it like that, but we're not worried about those fields. I have planted potatoes over here in 2021. That has been done. And, of course, that's planted in whatever that's planted in. Sunflowers. What's the big field planted in this time? Canola. Oh, that would be a good harvest. That would be nice and easy, actually. Wow. We're over here in the 36 field. And I did stream the map today. That'll be up in a couple days on the second channel. Links in the description. Puma Plow 2. I got the 2021 harvest done. That's all replanted and everything. And then I moved over here to the 36, 37, 40 field. And I was working on that quite a bit. And I had to end. I actually went longer than I wanted to by like 20 minutes today. Whatever. Not a big deal. And I actually left this all set up on Courseplay to finish. And then they decided not to. So I left it basically one tractor, one combine, and I was going to leave my computer for like an hour and a half. And when I came back, it almost didn't move at all. So very disappointed in that. But it's one of those things. It is what it is, you know? Okay, so which way is he actually going to... So I've basically set up a new course here. And I'm probably going to break my game, but I'm going to try this. Okay, so he's going the wrong way. Okay. So I need to break my game. Okay, come on. Basically, I need to move to the other side of the field. Or just start the combines that I have over there. That's probably a strategy, to be honest. Come on. What are we doing? Come on. Don't ever click the little eye in Courseplay. The little, like, eyeball looking thing, just don't do it. There we go. Okay, now. One more time here. Okay, so I've already clicked it. I'm not going to click it again. Just kind of have to sit and wait, unfortunately. But appreciate you guys clicking on the video. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys got some big weekend plans. If not, Friday night, guys, I'll be streaming twitch.tv/PumaPlow playing some SnowRunner. And then Saturday is the big baling event. Twitch.tv/PumaPlow. Saturday at noon central, guys. The big baling event. We'll be going. We're going to be back on Freedom Farms. Yeah, Freedom. And we are going to bale the entire map. The whole map will be baled. Okay? It's going to be magical. It is going to be magical. I'm stuck in this Courseplay like loop here, guys. I got to get out of this because it is murdering my game. There we go. Now we're good. Now, never click on that again, okay? And we can click on this one to bring up the lines. But just don't click on that other one. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do here, I've got a bunch of combines that are stationed kind of farther over. So if we just start this guy right here, he'll finish up this pass for us. Okay? We'll just tell him to go. I've got other combines sitting on the other side of the field, so yeah, we'll just go get them going. But I kind of set up the same course, but different. The way I harvest, where we like harvest through and then do circles, seems to be causing a lot of issues. People on stream today were saying that they tried that, they didn't like it. Go back to like the back and forth way. So I think that's what I'm gonna be doing, you know, honestly, for a little bit here, is go back to the just back and forth way. The roundy round way works great, except for on these crooked fields. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So I'm not going to do that anymore. But I think next time I harvest the big field, which will be, you know, I guess after this video, hopefully we get as much of this harvest done as possible. But I'm basically just ready to fast time this map because I'm not going to be replanting this field. You know, I did replant those potatoes, but that's it. I'm not going to replant. I planted the potatoes. But I'm not going to be planting anything else. So, yeah, we're kind of winding this series down here just a little bit. I mean, I know this is only episode 42, but if we make 50, we make 50. If we don't, we don't. It was never my intention, and I may have said different back in the day when I started the series. I don't know. But it was not my intention I have to get to 50 episodes. It was no more than 50 episodes. And I think going forward, that's how I'm going to do it. No more than XYZ number of episodes, you know? If I have less than that, then hey, that's cool. But no more than. I'm just going to go ahead and harvest this a little bit manually, like just straight on, because it'll go way faster. So no more than 50 episodes, I think, is how I'm going to word that from now on, you know? It kind of makes sense, right? So I think that's the strategy, guys, to be completely honest. You guys might be looking at these lines and going, wow, you did a lot of like outside rounds, outside passes. I did. And the reason I did was because this field being so crooked, combines like to draw straight lines, and then they end up in those trees over there. Yes, I could cut the trees down, but there's also light poles or telephone poles. I think there are light poles over there. So therefore, it kind of just wouldn't be a reason, you know? So kind of unfortunate with that, but it is what it is, and that is that. Okay. So let me start this guy here. He'll be fine here in a minute. That is an auger wagon. Okay, combine. We're going to get like all four of these combines going probably. Because really that one's going to be like useless here in a second. First one we start is going to be totally useless here in a minute. Which is fine. It's fine. It's fine. We can always move more. But hey, he's doing something. Something's better than nothing. And there are these like skipper passes out here, of course. But we're just going to let him go. Let him eat, as they say. Let him eat. Okay, so you're way up there. So I could go like in here somewhere maybe. So why don't we just go here? Go right there. And our lines don't quite line up because I didn't start the course in the same place as the last one, so. And I just didn't think to save the course when I left earlier today. I like had to shut the map down so I could play Rust. Because I streamed Rust. I wasn't just playing. If I was just playing, I actually would have let it run. But I was streaming Rust, and it was a good time. So, you guys haven't checked out Rust. Holy cow. Rust is a ton of fun. I don't know if it's as fun to watch, but man, to play, get in there and do the stuff, it's so much fun. We did a bunch of stuff tonight on Rust. Only meant to stream it for like 2 hours when we played for, what, 5? I was going to stream for like 3 hours. And ended up streaming for 5. So I know it might not make sense to start this combine here, but I'm going to. Still work to the left, take care of this junk. Happy days will ensue. Yeah, we played a ton of, it was great. We did the oil rigs, we did the military tunnel, we did all kinds of stuff. If you guys know anything about Rust, you'll know what I'm talking about. We did a bunch of stuff and it was a lot of fun. So, all right. Need to get some auger wagons running. I am going to course play them. Because that is what I do, you know? I'll course play one, drive the other one, probably. Course play 2, and then drive 1. How about that? Little Feather left a comment in the last video. And he was basically asking, there was a tree stump right there. Did you guys catch that? Left side? He was asking, like, hey, question for next video. If I was not a content creator, what career path would I be doing? Well, I was never one to like want to go get like an office job, that's for sure, or anything like that. So if I was not a content creator, so I used to, Little Feather, you probably know this, but in case anybody doesn't, I used to cut grass. I used to cut a lot of grass. Not a lot of grass, but like I used to cut a decent amount of grass for like 2 dudes, a pickup truck, and a lawnmower. We used to cut a fair bit of grass, my brother and I. Actually started way back in the day, my dad and my oldest 2 brothers. Because, Dad had the lawn and garden shop. Well, he'd have people come in that didn't want to fix their lawnmowers, or they were getting too old to cut, like whatever their circumstance was. But their question always to him was, well, you know anybody that cuts yards? And finally, instead of like advertising for other people, he's like, well, yeah, my sons and I do. That's how it started. So dad and my two oldest brothers actually started the business. I think I'm using air quotes too. Yeah. Started cutting grass, and then like my brothers, when they got a little older, they would actually drive around town, kind of around where my dad had his lawn and garden shop. And they had this little like tractor, and one of them would drive, the other one would ride in a wagon with a lawnmower, gas can, trimmer, blower, like in a little wagon. And they would drive around town, mostly in the area right around where dad worked, or dad had his shop, but they would drive around and cut lawns like in that area. And then as people got older, and you know, my dad had a trailer, and then like mom would drive them around, and it kind of kept going from there. And like I can remember being like 9 years old, like I got paid to like clean up the yards after they were done. I'd use the leaf blower. I got paid like $5 a week, and I was like, yeah buddy, this is lit. You know, like it was a family affair. We'd all go out in the summers and like just cut grass and clean up yards and all that kind of things. You know, honestly, we would do it all. And yeah, so then it ended up being like my brother that lives in Georgia now, him and I, like he's 2 years older than me, but we would cut a ton of grass. The most grass I ever cut was with him. And then when things kind of did whatever with him, and he wasn't as interested, you know, got himself a lady friend, and that kind of took him out of the business, slash, like, you know, he moved away eventually, and that definitely didn't help things out as far as I'm concerned. I kept it going for a while, and I had different people help me out because I never really wanted to go out by myself for many reasons, but one was a big like safety issue for me. As far as like, well, if I get hurt, you know, say I get hurt and I'm like, you know, in somebody's backyard, and yeah, nobody sees me, like that could be bad, right? So that was always one issue for me. The other one was like safety of my equipment, because there's a lot of theft in not necessarily where we live back then anyway, but now there is. But dad would hear about all the theft because of selling lawnmowers and you know, handheld and everything to people. So, you know, we always knew about the theft, and theft was definitely an issue. And well, it's a massive issue now, but yeah, so theft was always a thing, and dad was never really too cool about any of us going out by ourselves to cut. Don't get me wrong, it happened a few times, but for the most part, I didn't want that. No, wasn't my thing. So like a couple of my older brothers, they kind of came back in and helped out a little bit here and there when they could. Like Casey's brother and I cut grass for like 5 years together. And then Casey and I cut grass together for a few years because like Casey's brother went, you know, he had a real job and he was busy with that and stuff. So it was never really like anybody else's like main thing after my brother left, like the one that lives in Georgia now. It was never really anybody else's like main thing, but it was like my main thing, you know? And, so we did that for a while, you know, and, I just I don't want to say I lost interest in it, but I kind of just saw where it was going, and like, you know, kind of got tired of like just nobody wanting to pay for anything. Like, oh, you want your yard literally like picked up by hand, every like rock and acorn and everything, and you want to pay me like $10? Yeah, no, it takes me like 2.5 hours because your yard's big. But yeah, I'll give you $10. I was just like, no. So about the time, this is a very long-winded answer, Little Feather, I'm sorry. But about the time Casey and I were cutting grass, and I'm going to throw my buddy Casey, he, you know, we live next door to each other, still my buddy. But like, he was very non-interested in, you know, busy with his real job and, you know, that kind of stuff. So he was very unreliable, and it was kind of annoying, but I don't blame him for being unreliable. You know, it was just the way it was, you know. And so let's see who's full here. Okay, this combine needs to actually get stopped. He is gone. Unless I want to move them over there, probably. Actually, let's. Well, no. Wait, hang on. Yeah, we can put them on this chunk here. Okay. But yeah, Casey was very like hard to kind of. Hey, let's go cut grass at 9 o'clock, and I would wait for him, and next thing you know, it's like 10:30, and I'm still waiting for him. You know, and it's like, come on, man, we were supposed to like get up and get going, but he was tired from his real job, and like I said, I don't blame the kid. You know, it is what it is. It's not for everybody. He didn't like the work, but he liked getting his grass cut for free. He definitely liked that part. But I was also storing equipment at his house too sometimes, you know, and different stuff. Any hoozles. Puma Plow was the thing by then. Puma Plow was already a thing, and Puma Plow was doing big things, and or you know, doing things, and that's when it kind of when. This is a really long answer, and probably not answering the question yet, to be honest, Little Feather. But like, you know, when my brother quit, I just jumped into Puma Plow full time. It was all about it. Like, you know how everybody has like a big celebration of, oh my God, I'm going full time. I guess I never really did that because like it was my full time thing before I knew it was my full time thing. Does that make sense? Like I was full time content creation before I knew I was full time content creation. And there's a lot more content I could create. And next Farm Sim game, I will be. I've got big ideas, you know, big ideas. But yeah, I guess it was a thing before I knew it was a thing. So anyway, once my brother left, it was kind of just set for me then. It's like, this is what I'm doing. And yeah, so if Puma Plow wasn't a thing, content creation wasn't a thing, what would I do? Basically, that was the question. And I just went on a 15-minute rant about not answering the question. I'm sorry. Lawn care would be one thing that I could still do. I don't think I would want to have my own like stuff. I could go get a job, especially right now because of all the shortage of workers, we'll say, you know, coming in from other countries. I could get a job in a heartbeat. I could run a crew. Heck, I could probably be like, I know a company, I could probably be like mid-level management day one, you know, because I do have experience and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I kind of know, I know people at the company, let's put it that way. And I know of people at the company, and they like, you know what I'm saying? Like my dad deals with this big company, and they're huge. They're a huge company in the lawn care business around here. Of course, I'm not going to name names, but I could probably go get a job with them pretty fast and, you know, work my way kind of not to the top. Maybe I wouldn't want that much stress, honestly, but work my way up a little bit, you know, with them. So I could probably go do that, or I'd love to be a farmer, but that's just not in the cards, you know. I would probably be working full time with my dad at the lawn and garden shop that he works at. My dad and my brother both work there. I could definitely see myself regretting going to work every day working there, but I could definitely see it. They're in desperate need of like a decent salesman, which I don't think I would be, a decent driver, like, you know, going out delivering parts and that kind of stuff. And that I could kind of see picking up and delivering lawnmowers, all that kind of stuff, you know. They need a lot. They need some confident like people that can kind of do stuff, you know, a little bit anyway. The people they hire are real bad, you know what I'm saying? So but anyway, I could definitely see working there full time. They've tried in the past to get me to work there, and every time I'm like, I just can't. My dad's boss is an idiot. Let me just put it that way. And I just couldn't do it. Basically, my dad doesn't really have a boss, if that makes sense. But like the owner, you know, like the guy owns the place, and it's the husband and wife, and they're both just major idiots. And I would just have to tell him every day that he's an idiot. So I'd probably get fired, which would not look good for my dad or my brother, but I don't know how they deal with it. My dad's been dealing with him since the early 90s. He's been working there since the early 90s. I don't know how. Because I would have told the guy, you're a stupid arse, and I would have walked out a long time ago. Actually, my brother did that once. My brother was working there, and then he quit for like 5 years and went back. And the understanding was that the boss would leave him alone, and he kind of does a little bit anyway. Not as much as he probably would want him to, but he does leave him alone a little bit. Anyway, it's just the whole thing. So that's probably what I would be doing, is working for my dad's, or where my dad works, lawn and garden company. That is a long-winded answer, to be honest. But I never had like, I never wanted to be, you know, a plumber or an electrician. Electrician would be kind of cool though. But I never like wanted to do any of that stuff, you know? I don't know. Never had the ambition to go sit in an office all day. That's for sure. That is for sure. There's a lot of things I just don't want to do ever in my life. So, ideally what I would really like to do, like long term, is keep the content creation stuff going, of course. That's going to be a big part of my life, probably for a long time. Let's be real. And then someday I would like to move to my farm. And I know the problem is like putting up a house down there. You got to spend a ton of money to like raise the thing up or bring in dirt or whatever. But something like that. Move to the farm or move kind of close to the farm, like maybe some of the high ground that doesn't flood, which is really, really, really expensive. So I don't know if that'll ever happen, but that would be a life goal, is just to like move down there. And I would like to open up like a pick your own strawberries, pick your own tomatoes, that kind of place, you know? I mean, I only have 5 acres down there to work with, or Dad has 5 acres right now, but you know, maybe even try to like rent a couple acres or something and have a bigger place down there where you could do like the, hey, fresh picked sweet corn, hey, pumpkins for sale, like that kind of stuff, you know? And like bring the people on the farm to pick their own strawberries. You know, all that stuff's like, we've grown everything, you know, already. I already know how to do all that. That's kind of something I've always wanted to kind of do someday, maybe down the road. Be like, open up a little fresh, like pick your own kind of place, you know? I think that'd be really cool. But I'd have to live there, because you don't want like the riffraff showing up at night, you know? Plus you'd have to have like probably a bunch of good dogs to keep all the critters away at night. Maybe a donkey. That kind of stuff, you know? Like have a little farm, like a vegetable farm, you know? Be kind of cool, right? Hey, dig your own potatoes, you know, that kind of stuff, you know? The yuppies around us really like that, like pick your own stuff. And there's a lot of yuppies, and I feel like with some Facebook marketing, you would be just incredibly busy. Absolutely, just run over. Because we're not that far out of town. And, you know, once people discover you, and then they go on their socials and they blab about it, you know, it just goes and goes and goes and goes. So that could be the strat someday. You never know. You guys ever watch, what's that show? TLC. Little People, Big World. With their pumpkin farm. Their pumpkin patch. How they have like all the sites. I'd love to do something like that, but, you know, we're in flat farmland that floods. So that wouldn't be the strat for that place, but like something like that would be way cool. That would be really cool. Their farm's really neat. I always liked that show. I didn't really care about the show for like their family drama. I always just wanted to watch the episodes where they talked about the pumpkin patch and like what they were doing for the pumpkin season. I always liked those episodes. I wonder if there's like a playlist somewhere that's just like those episodes, you know? Like, I don't care about their divorce or what. I mean, yeah, I watched it, but like, I didn't really care too much, you know? But just tell me about the pumpkins. That's what I want to know about. Always enjoyed that. Which actually, to a point, what's the channel? NY Farm Girls on YouTube. They talk about their pumpkin patch. Their dad has a huge pumpkin patch, and they have a huge bakery and brewery and like all this stuff in little buildings, and it's super cool. It's super cool. It was really neat watching their videos they were making around that time of year. So very interesting. But I'd love to open up something like that someday at the farm or somewhere down in that area. You know, I mean, it's a little ways out of town. There's actually a place on the way out of town, and he said he has like a greenhouse, so he'll sell like early tomato plants and pepper plants and like that kind of stuff. Cucumber plant. You can go and buy all like your little pot plants, you know. And well, they're like super obnoxious, outrageously expensive, but he gets a big crowd in there pretty much every Saturday, Sunday. And then during like pumpkin season, oh my goodness, you can't get on his property most of the time. And the best part is they don't even grow the pumpkins there. They literally truck them in and then set them in the pumpkin patch, which is like not much of a patch. They set them out there every morning, and then people come out in the afternoon and pick them up. I mean, that is, they're not actually picking them, so it's it's kind of a weird thing, but he kills it, man. He is super busy, so good for him. And he doesn't have enough land. That'd probably be my problem eventually. I wouldn't have enough land. Because, you know, if you're going to do it right, you got to have like peaches and apples and all that other kind of, I mean, you wouldn't have to, but I guess the big thing you want to do is try to have like as much in season kind of throughout the year as possible, you know, like, oh, cut your own, pluck your own asparagus, you know, or just have asparagus for sale. You know, you could do spring or fall asparagus. You know, a lot of different things that you could do if you really like sit down and think about it, you know, with the whole like gardening thing. A lot you can do there. And I could see it. Really could see it. So that's a life goal though. That's a life goal. I think I would be that guy that would be totally happy living out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe just having like a little family, you know, some family would be nice. Like, you know, maybe a Mrs. Puma Plow someday, you never know. And just kind of chilling, you know, and doing our thing and trying to live off the land at least a little bit, and then, you know, open it up. And I'm not talking like homesteading or anything off grid, not talking about that. Give me some Starlink internet, you know, some Starlink internet and we'd be good to go. Just gotta have internet, right? Probably have to put in a new well too at the farm, deeper, something I could get a lot more water out of. Because our well's only like 28 feet deep, so, and it's only, I don't even know what it is, 1.5 pipe or something. It's not a big well at all. Well. Anyway. So, I don't know. Little Feather, was that like a 24, 25 minute? Did I answer your question? And actually, I'm going to throw this question to you guys, especially if you're still watching. Don't tell me where you work necessarily. I don't need to know if you work at, you know, Lowe's or Home Depot, or I don't need to know where you work. But like, what kind of field are you in? So that'd be like sales, you know, retail. What kind of field are you guys in? And what's like something you would do if you weren't in that field? So if you're in retail, like what would you do if you weren't in retail? Would you become a chef? Or I don't even know. A chef would be kind of cool too. I have kind of thought about like, I could totally open up a restaurant, you know? Kind of thought about that too a lot in my life. Like, actually one time, so like I've talked about before, I used to be like real close with a couple of my like older nieces that are really only like a couple of years younger than me. One's only like 2 years younger than me, I think. The other one's like 3, 4. Anyway, pretty close in age, and used to be real close with them. And we'd go out to eat all the time, just like a couple of us, you know. We got like Casey and his brother, and the crew, you know. We had a crew. We'd go out to eat, and it was always, oh, where do you want to go? I don't know. What do you want to eat? I don't know. So just make it like a restaurant called I don't know. And what's it have on the menu? Like everything. You want to go there and get like a burrito, or you want to go there and get a pizza? They probably have it, you know? Or even do like days where you have like pizza one day and like tacos the next day, and like, I don't know. It's just like your menu's kind of all over the place. So like anybody can go there and get something they want to eat, you know? Be kind of cool. I don't know. I don't have any like cooking training or anything, but I can make a mean scrambled egg, you know? Or a million grilled cheese. Bag of egg and cheese sandwiches for breakfast every day. Wait, would we be open for breakfast? Probably not. Not really breakfast. I'm not really a morning person. I'm a breakfast person. I like breakfast food. Not a morning person. We do breakfast for dinner a lot around my family. I don't know what you guys do. You guys like the breakfast for dinner? I really like that. So yeah. Really a fan of the breakfast for dinner. Really do enjoy that. Like, probably at least once a week. Sometimes twice a week. This week we had... What did we have? Oh, we had French toast. My dad bought some of that King's Hawaiian bread, which by the way is like crack. It is so good. If you guys haven't tried it, the King's Hawaiian bread. Oh my goodness. Any of that King's Hawaiian stuff. So good. But anyway, he bought some of the bread and like immediately he's like, hey, you need to make French toast out of that. I'm like, okay, got you. I made that with sausage patties. Patties, you know, all the sausage patties. Don't know why I'm talking like I'm from Boston, but like a sausage patty, you know. And then I made my famous, not so much famous, but like famous tater casserole. And that's kind of breakfasty because it's like taters and cheese and deliciousness, you know. So that was our breakfast for dinner the other night. Let's see, that was Tuesday. Which actually it was perfect because like then, you know, it's like a 9x13 casserole. And then that's when I make the tater thing, it's more of a side dish, you know. If I make the one with meat, that's more of like a meal, but this is side dish, you see. Side dish. So there was tons of it. There's still tons of it left, but there was tons of it left. So like Thursday night we had burgers and tater casserole. And then tomorrow's Friday. I'll probably have tater casserole for lunch tomorrow too. And there still might be some left. I don't know. I don't know how much is left, but it's great because you make it and it stays good in the fridge for days. Fantastic. I love it. Anyway, boys, we are about done. We are about done. We're having problems with Courseplay drivers. We're about done. All right, turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it up. All right, we're going to do this. And we're going to tell that guy to go to the home point or whatever. Go. Maybe. Empty. Today. Dollar Tree heads up on me. This guy is now done. Of course. Another combine bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey. Copyright infringement. Another one bites the dust. Gotta love that. DMCA. They're gonna get me. They're gonna shut me down. What do you bet? I hope not. I hope the whole DMCA thing gets figured out. Like, you know I can't use copyright music, but if it's in a video game, like it should be allowed, you know? Video game companies should get those rights. They should purchase those licenses, I should say. It'd be so nice and handy. Because it's like ingrained in my brain now. If I load a game, the first thing I do, literally, dog water? No. The first thing I do literally is go in and turn all the sound off on whatever game it is. It doesn't matter. So Like in Rust, people are like, oh, this music's terrible. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I turned it off 120 hours ago. Or however many hours I have in Rust now. But yeah, I turn off. First thing I do when I load a game for the first time is turn off the music. Turn it off. I don't want to hear it. And, you know, some games actually have good music, too. That's the crazy thing. All right. Come on, we don't need you driving, buddy. Buddy, my buddy. All right, so that was a good little, like, finish of the field, you know? I didn't anticipate just making this long of a video, but better than the last one. Last one was crazy long. This one's kind of, like, getting a little late. I kind of streamed Rust till after midnight and kind of forgot that I needed to make a video. So yeah. All right, so I can hear a car just full sending down the highway out there. What do you bet if I turn on the police scanner right now, I'll hear him in pursuit of that car? Like, I bet I do. There are a lot of stolen autos here all of a sudden in this area. A lot of stolen autos in this area lately. Just saying. All right. It's kind of crazy how many stolen there has been. Like the other day, I think they arrested like 14 people overnight for stolen auto related offenses. It's like, what are we doing here, guys? You know, 14 people. Come on. Like, that's just crazy, you know? All right, let's get this stuff out of the field, guys. We were basically wrapped up with the harvest. Harvest crew will be rolling to the big field. Maybe we'll work on setting all that up next. Oh, you know what? Next video is going to be, if I remember to do this, because, you know, it's Saturday now. I won't or sorry, it's Thursday now. I won't record again until Sunday. But the next video needs to be selling the animals. I'm done with them. I don't want to mess with them anymore. I'm done. I'm done. So that needs to be the next video, is getting rid of the animals. I just don't want to mess with them. All right, so one more auger wagon to say go, 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 go. Grab that combine too, because that's going to be our thumbnail picture. What I'm thinking, guys. Not necessarily this combine, but all of them. All of them. All right, and I did move that bin that I was having trouble with in the last video, by the way. Did move that on this. We're good to go now. All the birdies flying around the background, guys. I think that's a thumbnail picture if I've ever seen one. Saying, okay. Let's drive this. We can go faster. All right, guys, that wraps up the harvest. I'm gonna go haul this in, and sometime before we move that mother bin, I guess we'll haul in all of it because it's all sitting in that mother bin right now. I guess we'll have to do that. Little Feather, I hope I answered your question finally after like 4 years. I'm sorry. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, toodles.